one-man army. Any support I could use. The hostiles have incited, they're here. Let's get a little bloody on this hill. God, I wish Frankie Trent and the Poker Brothers were here. I thought that was the Airstrike that I called in against PETA. I'm small, but I'm mighty, okay? There's gonna be a bloodbath tonight. So let's go start a fight. Okay, I'm ready. It's kind of hard for me to talk about, actually. I haven't talked much about it. I didn't even actually really want to do this interview, but my filmer, Bud Jr., he lured me in here kind of with a 6-pack of Bud juices in Copenhagen. So here I am.
You know, they're good, but I think we're just better. So I think we'll be close, I think, but I think we'll definitely come out on top.
So I was carrying a lot of weight on my shoulders because I wasn't allowed in the rodeo. And that was very hard for me because the rodeo is the thing I look forward to the most every year. It's a very sacred thing in Oakdale. But after some soul searching, I realized that I could still stand outside the rodeo and keep guard. So I figured that by protecting the rodeo from PETA, I can get back in the town's good graces. So there's a lot going into this. I almost feel a sense of duty to protect the rodeo, protect the town from these terrorists. I mean, that's basically what they are, they're terrorists. PETA is a pretty ferocious crowd, and when I shot them with paintballs the year prior and ended up in prison for it, I didn't regret doing that, but this time I didn't want to end up in prison. So I armed myself with signs instead of frozen paintballs. I will be holding this sign proudly, showing my support to Steve Medlin. And also this. Also, I armed myself with grit and integrity as well. Also, I did arm myself with a lot of Jack Daniel's whiskey beforehand as well. So I want to make sure that I eat a big breakfast this morning for my war against PETA. The owner of House of Beef killed a cow for me the day before, so it was nice and fresh. So suck on that, PETA. I am expecting quite a showdown today. They're sending their best and Oakdale's sending theirs. I'll make sure that law enforcement knows that I'm there to help. So if they need anything, if they're feeling a little bit short-staffed, they can always count on me. I felt like John Wayne before a gun battle. I felt like Crockett at the Alamo. I feel like I'm going to a state final game. Kind of get the butterflies going a little bit down here, and I'm ready. Hope Coach is there to see it. I did throw up 3 times that morning, actually. Twice from the nerves, and then once from being so hungover from H-Bar the night before. I was gonna go to the parade this morning, but I got a little drunk last night at H-Bar. In fact, I woke up behind H-Bar by a dumpster. People think PETA is this animal-loving organization. In reality, they pretty much run a slaughterhouse. They actually euthanize 90% of the animals that they rescue, the pets. They hate pets. Being a lifelong pet owner, I take great offense to that. This here's my hunting dog. I know she doesn't look like much now. Back in her prime, her and I used to tree a lot of squirrels and chipmunks together. But no, don't worry, I didn't eat the chipmunks. It's okay, baby. Aw. She heard Daddy's gonna fight PETA today, so she's a little nervous. She's a little anxious for Daddy. When I'm standing down PETA today, I'm gonna be thinking about my little hunting dog here, and that if they ever did anything to her, you know, Lord help them, the wrath that would come down on them. Is that right, baby? Daddy's gonna fight PETA. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're done. Oh, she peed on me. You know, we have a beautiful town here. I'll fight for this town. I'll die for this town. PETA wants to come here and disrupt things. They got another thing coming, I can guarantee you that. I'm just waiting for my ride. I can't afford to get another DUI, so Mama Bud is actually gonna be driving me. Because I was gonna be drunk that day, all day, Mama Bud actually volunteered to drive me. She was very worried about me because she didn't want me to end up in prison again. So I had to explain to Mama Bud that this was something much greater than myself, and she didn't really understand that. She thought that I was acting kind of strange, actually. Every year before the rodeo, I like to make a pit stop here to pay homage to fallen cowboys before me. It's just a little tradition that I have. I also bring this every time as well. Oh, Mom, there's some buds right there. Mom, we're not gonna end up in jail.
Okay.
Oh, there's some buds. Look, see the Rock Revival's right there. Some bud pants right there. So as soon as I arrived, I did immediately try to convince the security guards to let me in. I was a section title champion in high school. Will that do it? Can I?
Nope, don't even know what that is.
I was a state champion. I threw a legendary 80-yard pass in high school. Do you remember me?
That's really good, but you're still not allowed in.
I was in the parade one year when I was a kid.
It's amazing. You're still not allowed in.
Are you guys sure? It didn't work out very well, so it was back to plan A. I just wanted to know, have you guys seen any PETA protesters around?
No.
Okay. I have been tasked with protecting the rodeo from PETA.
Okay.
So let me know, please, if I can help in any way. I also made signs for the counter protest if we're going to do that. I'm not allowed in the rodeo this year, but I'll be around in the parking lot to protect the rodeo from PETA.
Have fun with that.
Thank you very much.
The lady at the front, she was very thankful for my support. She knew the people in this town take me very seriously. So having me on the front line would be very reassuring to the rest of the rodeo goers.
Oakdale Bud! Yeah!
As you can see, those are some fans. They knew me, they knew who I was. Everyone's a little bummed out that I won't be able to be inside. People love me, they appreciate me. They know what I'm doing for this town right now. Not everybody can handle this responsibility, and I've taken it upon myself.
I wanted people to know that they were safe, and I could see it on their faces. As soon as they saw me out front, they knew that they could go in and have a good, peaceful time. They felt very safe, and I know that they're very thankful for me.
Oh yeah, brother, hell yeah.
Let me know if you see anybody.
I'll let you know.
I'm on guard.
At one point, an old cowboy drinking a bud juice rode by, and he nodded at me, and I knew right there in that moment that this is where I was supposed to be. This was my destiny, if you will.
Any one of these people could be PETA spies. Excuse me? You haven't seen any PETA protesters, have you?
Who?
PETA protesters? Okay, good, thank you.
So yeah, I did think that lady could have either been a spy or a buckle bunny. And after a very intense interrogation, I know she was not a spy.
So, buckle bunnies, they are basically cowboy groupies. So one year at the rodeo, I actually rode the mechanical bull for so long that it broke. I set a record. My truck is about 3 times as big as this one. I do wish Frankie Trett and the Arpoca brothers were here to help defend the rodeo with me, but they're not, so I will make do with what I have. And what I have is signs and grit and integrity. I have a lot of grit and integrity, I'll tell you that. I do expect them to attack from that side. I think they'll come in, I think they'll try to flood the rodeo, and it'll just be me holding them down. I thought for a second it was that rap singer, Poster Malone.
A lot of my day consisted of making rounds in the parking lot. In the past, PETA protesters will gather there and do drugs while drinking soy milk lattes. So I made sure that that wasn't going to happen this year. There would be no soy milk, no hummus, no wheatgrass, no granola anywhere near this rodeo.
They might be PETA spies using children as a decoy. So yeah, it does kind of pain me a little bit that I'm here and everyone is there. But you know, somebody has to do this. Somebody has to do this job. It's a little hot out here. I was gonna wear my Letterman's jacket, but I couldn't afford to catch heat stroke when I'm supposed to be on guard against PETA. I literally have a swamp building up in this region because it's so hot. And I have horrible BO right now.
I do think at one point I was getting heat stroke, so I did make sure to be constantly hydrating.
Luckily, the rodeo's been pretty uneventful. There hasn't been any PETA protesters, but we're about to go make another round here pretty soon, so I need to just keep hydrating so I'm ready to go.
So I think it was after my 4th trip to the car to hydrate. That's when the action started. That's when I heard them. And for a minute I thought that perhaps they had breached the rodeo when I was in the car hydrating. So me and my filmer, Bud Jr., we started walking towards the chants. We saw the commotion, the crowds running. I knew there was going to be a fight. I was hearing, Oakdale Bud, where are you? So I showed up, and across the street, that's when I saw him.
I'm ready. The hostiles have been sighted. I do think I can handle them on my own. The only thing standing between them and the rodeo is myself. So let's go start a fight.
There had to have been at least 30 of them, maybe more. Battle ready, all armed with signs, and they all were armed with that look that most protesters of this category looked like, which would be malnutrition and severe depression. Many of them were wearing war paint in their hair, purple war paint and blue war paint. At first, I kind of hesitated. I thought that perhaps I might have met my match, but then I remembered all the innocent rodeo goers counting on me, and I also remembered how much grit and integrity I had.
I'm ready to die on this hill. I'm a one-man army over here. Any support I could use.
I did have the support of some people passing by. They were definitely on my side.
There will be a fight. No, it's just me right now. They're a pretty ferocious crowd, but I'm holding my ground. I might need reinforcements. I do have a buddy in the army who I could call an airstrike.
So that was actually Mama Bud on the phone, just calling to make sure that I wasn't in prison.
Do sign.
nothing better to do, Jack, than stand around with a stupid sign like that?
I don't. I have nothing better to do.
You're a Jack.
This is the only thing I have to do.
You're a Jack.
Thank you, sir.
I did at one point encounter someone who I now believe was actually a PETA protester disguised as a Bud. He came at me very aggressively, but I did stand my ground against him.
You are a nice person. Thank you. Yes.
I do think he might have been PETA King. So after about 30 minutes into the battle, I did feel that bottle of whiskey starting to catch up to me, and I did end up blacking out against Last Stand Tree. But I did not lower my banner. It remained waving. So after regaining consciousness, I did decide it would be best if I sat to preserve my energy. Also, I was still very drunk and wasn't able to stand if I wanted to.
Very vicious war. I'm gonna win this war for the town of Oakdale. I'll die here, I'll die on this grass. I can use the support if anyone wants to volunteer in this army. There's only one of us, but we're small and we're mighty.
Eventually, I was able to stand and I decided to retreat and regroup. This was a strategy. I learned this from reading the cover of The Art of War by Sun Tzu.
I do think I won that battle, but the war is not over yet. I want them to think that they have the upper hand.
It was at this time where I did see a friend and former high school teammate of mine. He was concerned about me, both physically and mentally.
I was just fighting him. It was a bloodbath. I'm not allowed in.
I could see that he wanted to say to me, wow, man, you know, you've come a long way since high school and I'm damn proud of you.
I was alone out there against them. I stood down 30 of them, women and children. Oh my God, is that the airstrike? They missed again. They're right over there.
Obviously, I didn't actually want them to drop the bomb right on the PETA protesters, more so near the PETA protesters so it would scare them. Because if I served 6 months in prison for shooting them with paintballs, imagine what kind of prison time I would do if I dropped a bomb on them. So before going back to the front lines, the national anthem started playing. I got another immediate rush of grit and integrity. I like to think that everybody in that rodeo knew what was going on outside the rodeo. They knew the battle that was going down, and so they played that song solely for me. It was a good feeling. When we went back to fight PETA, their army had dispersed greatly. They obviously had taken a lot of damage during that first battle. After standing tall for another hour, they turned with their tails between their legs. And I was yelling, you know, this Oakdale Bud, this Oakdale Bud. And just seeing those women and children and 3 beta males run away just really gave me a sense of accomplishment. I was now going to go fight the war of trying to get inside the rodeo.
I stood down PETA out there for an hour. I was doing your job. I was fighting PETA.
Still not allowed in. PETA's on our side now.
They got you? They turned you? It was a bloodbath out there. I'm getting a little bit flustered right now because I do want to be in there. I want to be getting drunk in there with my buds. I'm done with PETA. I beat him. This is very frustrating right now.
So I decided to walk along the fence. I really wanted to see the bull riding. I wanted to see the little calves getting thrown around the dirt. Unfortunately, I couldn't see jack shit. Eventually, I saw an opening at the front. I think the security guard, being a PETA protester, he's probably high on marijuana, and he let his guard down. So I just waltzed right in. Yeah, you know, immediately I was welcomed in like a hero. People were wanting autographs, they were coming up to me, wanting pictures with me. It was an incredible feeling. Yeah, I proceeded to get very drunk with my buds and ended up blacking out again on the inside. But I did not fall down the stairs again this year. I did not do that, so it was an all-around very successful year. You know, and the thing is, I want people to know is, I didn't do it for me. I didn't do it for glory. I didn't do it for more patches. I did it for the town. This was fun. No, I'm glad I got to get this all off my chest. Yeah, that's about it. Wanna take a break? H-bar? Beaver? H-bar? Beaver, what are we thinking?